Rodney, yesterday was just kind of fascinating to watch Rodney Thomas kind of step in, rookie in his first action. I mean, seems kind of daunting to come in against Patrick Mahomes, but what do you think kind of readied him for that moment and how do you think he handled it?
Yeah, Rod T had a very remarkable performance yesterday. I think first and foremost, his preparation allowed him to be ready for that moment. You know, we always talk about next man up in our room, and you never know when your number will be called, right? Whether it's play one or whether it's play 50. And so, yesterday, Rod had to come in and play about 50 snaps for us. And, he made the plays that came his way. He didn't flinch. And so one in particular that stands out is the play he made right before half. If he doesn't come up with that play, the likelihood is we don't win the game. And so for him to come in, the magnitude of this game versus a great offense like the Chiefs and not miss a beat, man, is very important and vital, for us as a secondary moving forward.
James Boyd.
Obviously, you had the huge pick to end the game, but can you take us, one, through the emotion of that play, and two, how much maybe you can build on just the takeaway? I felt like you all had sustained the entire game, but how important just the takeaways are in the NFL and maybe getting back to being a takeaway defense.
Yeah, takeaways are important. As part of one of the Sweet Six that we talk about as a defense each and every week entering in the game, and how we have to find a way to turn the ball over, whether it's forced fumbles, quarterback strip sack, or of course interceptions. If you win the turnover difference, the likelihood is your chances to win in this league go up. And so to close the game that way, we're obviously hoping to build on that. I was just there to capitalize on a play made by, Gilly. He was in the right position, right play at the right time and doing what he does best. And so it was a good moment for us as a team to close out that game with an interception. And hopefully, this starts, they'll come in bunches, right, as we all know. So hopefully we can have a few more when we play Tennessee this Sunday.
Do you credit Stephon with like a half interception on that, or how does that work? Or do you just take?
Yeah, I tried it. I gave him the ball, once I actually found him after that play. But when we got back in the locker room, he gave it right back to me. So,
JJ?
Rodney, you've been around, a number of defensive coordinators, a number of teams in your career. When you have a game like y'all had on Sunday with the execution of the game plan, what does that do for buy-in, just when you're putting in a new defense and guys are getting transitioned into a new way of playing things?
I think it obviously builds confidence, in us as a defense, playing, coming off the first two games and not necessarily playing to the level of our standard. I think, really made us take a step back and self-evaluate ourselves and figure out, what can we do better? What do we all have to do better collectively, both individually and as a defense, in order to put our team in the best position possible to win. And so Gus had a great game plan, man. And what you saw was everybody executing at a high level every snap and consistently doing that throughout the game. It shows, how dominant we can be. The challenge is for us, we have to be consistent. And so we understand that, and we're going to get back to work, come Wednesday. That's a 24-hour rule. You celebrate it, but, now it's move on to a division opponent. We know how much that means to us and trying to accomplish our goals. And so we have to go out and do the same thing, be the same stingy, physical, dominant defense in order to give ourselves a win.
Zach Kiefer.
Ronnie, I kept hearing in the locker room yesterday that the guys really bought into Gus's scheme last week in practice. So from your perspective as a vet, like, what does that look like and what does that sound like, and how is that different than the week before?
I don't really question whether or not we bought in the first 2 weeks of the season. I think it really came down to the level of execution, the things that I just spoke about, being consistent throughout a game. When you have guys, from time to time, not executing all on the same page and being on one accord, then the results are going to be, losses ultimately. And so I think what you saw on Sunday was, us, everybody being on the same page and executing their job, their assignment on a consistent basis, which allowed us to be able to make plays, and everybody made plays, right? And all in all, that was an ultimate team win. Defensively, we did our jobs. Special teams came up big, and then offense, was able to finish the game for us and come up with a huge touchdown late in that game.
George Bremer.
Rodney, I think Julian Blackman said last week that the players' voices need to be heard at times in the process as well. Did you see any of that this week? Did you guys have a little more input in this game plan?
No, I think, when we came in, Gus and the staff had a great game plan set out. They know the Chiefs very well. And so we do some change-ups in there, which were very effective versus that caliber of offense. And so for us, we always have discussions as players, more so how do we see things on the field? A call might be made, but it's on us to bring it to life. It's on us also to make adjustments if needed. And you saw that. It was a combination of everything, not only leading up to the game, but also during the game. But that's what makes, great defenses and teams who they are, players and coaches working hand in hand. But it was a great game plan, and looking forward to more of that this upcoming season.
The last one here, Nate Atkins.
Hey, Rodney, a week ago, Yannick Ngakoue said that he needed to he felt like he needed to step it up, dial it in, focus, and be more vocal. And then, he had a really good game yesterday. Is there anything you noticed out of him in practice, just the days leading up or on the field yesterday, that kind of got him going in the direction of how he normally plays?
No, man, Yannick is very consistent. He's a guy that always has juice, man, motor. He's constantly going, constantly working. And I think on Sunday, it just paid off, for him. At the end of the day, he's been doing that since training camp. He's been the same type of player, and you see that in his practice habits. And so that just transferred over to Sunday for him, putting pressure on the quarterback, coming up with a sack. And I'm sure he's going to continue to do that for us this season. He's a guy that's always made plays, and, it's frustrating, of course, when you feel as though, you haven't necessarily made those plays for your team. He's come here for a reason. And so I think Sunday, it was a reminder for him that, hey, look, the things that you're doing, it's going to work. It's going to pay off for you. Just continue to trust it, and you're going to make more plays for us this season.